no credit for the slides that Cheryl put together, and I'm going to probably ask her to take us through those as well and lead that part of the session, purely because I think there's some really relevant stuff with regards to the stores and storefronts that the Cheryl's brought together at the same time as well. I think the amount of people that are on here today really just shows and signifies how important the festive season is for the channel. And I think that the stores and brands that I speak to on a regular basis always feel like they left something behind and that they could have picked up on over Christmas. So, what I would say is listen to what's going on with open ears and don't be disillusioned if it's something that this might be affected for next year, because a lot of Christmas buying and events and stuff is already done now. But actually, it's something that we learn on a regular basis, and a lot of Christmas buying is done in April, May, June for orders wise. So actually, even if it is something that ends up being more for next year than this, it's a good opportunity to mark that down, mark stuff in the calendar for that kind of April, May time. And I like Suma does all of their stuff in April. It's all the buying is done by then. But there's still opportunities now to engage with brands, to engage with distributors, and ask them for extra support and stuff as well that's coming alongside it. But Cheryl, have you got the presentation open? I have. You're on mute.
Sorry, Dave, I didn't anticipate that. So if you can.
I know you didn't. Well, yeah, that's why I wasn't going to throw you completely under the bus. Only or the sleigh, if I'm being topical.
I could do it standing on
your screen look like you've got like a French Santa beret on at the moment.
That's what I'm aiming for.
I thought you
do I need to make you the host, or can you just pick it up from joining?
I will request it from you now.
Okay, and I will give you permission. There we go.
That could have been awkward if you refused it.
It's been a long day.
So let me just bring the slides up now. The slides on the screen.
Yeah, I can see that.
Super. From beginning. Perfect. So you're going to talk us through this? You want me to
I'll hand over to you.
Okay. So you need to press from beginning.
I think it'll be good. I think we'll do it together, and we'll look at it from two different angles as well. But as they're your slides, I'm not taking that away from you.
Cool. Okay, doke. At the moment, I can see the whole thing, or do you want to just push it so that it's just the one slide on the screen? If you press from beginning, I think that does it.
Interestingly, that has done it on mine from beginning.
Oh, or maybe it's just me. So look,
if you click present mode, because I think we all got the same. Sorry, Mark here. If you click present mode from the laptop you're running the presentation from, it should, in your PowerPoint, it should change the view for us all.
Oh, excellent. Well, having not done that before, we shall. Where would I do that from, Mark? While you're there?
There should be a little, like a little pull down screen sort of symbol that if you click on to go into, basically say you present in presenting mode. Because I must admit the writing's a little bit tiny on some of those slides to.
Yeah, and I thought, right, bear with me a second, let me just come back out again. Sorry for this.
No problem.
Does it help if I try and pull up on my screen? But I suppose I'm going to have the same problem as you, am I, Dave?
Oh, I don't know. I've got 3 screens, so that could be the problem in itself, to be honest.
Let me go and pull it up on mine. Oh, that's better.
That's good.
You've got it.
It was showing screen 2, not screen 3. Right, there we go.
Okie doke. So, am I going or are you going, Dave?
You can start, and we'll dip in. We'll do it.
Okay, you see it's all rehearsed. So clearly Shop Local, there's a lot of support out there for Shop Local, and a lot of people who are really keen to support their local shops at Christmas specifically. And I think a Shop Local campaign at Christmas resonates more. And we've certainly seen our Christmas business in my shop at Sheaf Street Health Store in Daventry, not so sunny Daventry these days, the Christmas business has increased more and more. I've also got a bookshop next door to my shop, and that bookshop, the book trade, does 25% of its total annual business in the I think it's the 6 weeks. prior to Christmas. So it's with the fact we've got a bookshop next door that's rocking it at Christmas, we feel like we need to embrace Christmas too. So next slide. I'm going to whiz through this like a demon. So
I'm just going to add on to that as well, that shop local campaign not only just adds value in the high street, but it also you're going to see a different customer that's going to come past your store over the Christmas period as well. And there's an element that you can actually retain some of those new and potentially new customers if you've got the right offerings from the shop window and entice that journey through the store as well.
Absolutely. Next slide. Okay, so basically talking about the experience in the shop at Christmas, how you make this shop more Christmassy. We're going to be talking about stock that you stock, how to increase footfall through the window displays, social media, embracing social media for Christmas, increasing the frequency of visits. So you're going to be releasing stock at different times to get people excited about different things, advent calendars earlier and so on and so forth. Increasing the customer spend by looking at the price points. We had a discussion about this a few weeks back in Health Stores UK, and you know, some stores will be able to tolerate a £50 gift point, you know, as a high end, and some will be looking more at the £10, and we've got some stocking fillers that go down as low as £2. So it's again looking at the customer spend, the add-ons. I talk about a thing called the pickled onion, Dave. It's from chip shops. You know, chip shops obviously they sell fish and chips, and that's their main thing. But you have the pickled onion by the till, and people bung in a pickled onion, and that is just profit straight on top of the purchase. So it's finding the pickled onion in the health food trade. Obviously looking at profit, which is obviously the buying point, what point you're buying it in at, and where you can do some, where you know you're going to get more volume of customers, you can do some more case stacks and buy in and get some better profit into the business. And also buying local can sometimes help with that. And yeah, we'll talk about the timing. When does Christmas actually start? Which I think is a very interesting point. We've been having huge arguments in my town about when the lights get switched on and how long the lights stay on during the day and night time. And it's town council's driving me around the bend. But I think that's a discussion point. Dave, anything to add to those things?
Yeah, and I think Christmas starts when you want it to be fair. I think that there are elements of people that will start buying now. The savvy are already doing it. They're already looking for those items. So it's around, even if you haven't got your full Christmas displays out, it's around thinking around what you're putting around that counter, that pickled onion moment that you talked around as well. Whether you're working with a charity with Christmas cards as well, that's an additional add-on or something that you can work alongside. But that purchase at till that goes, oh, that'd be a good stocking filler. Just think stocking fillers around tills because it's that little additional grab on. No one's using a 10, £15, but that £5 and below price point really does start to add up if everyone puts that into their basket at the same time as well.
Definitely. Next slide. Yeah, again, looking at the categories within the store, you know, I guess most of us are a health food store. There's no such thing as a typical health food store. We're the independent health food trade, and every store is very different. My store is completely different to Joanne's store, which is much more Joe's store, which is much more body care orientated. We have a lot of food, but we also have a cafe at the back, and we have fair trade floor upstairs of homewares and all sorts. So every shop is different. But at Christmas, the things that we sell most of: food area, body care, gifts, vouchers, hampers, clothing and accessories, candles and homewares. So these are the main categories we're going to be talking about today. We've got some photos of things that we did last year, and we can talk around. I'd love it if other people opened their cameras and chatted to us about what they're planning to stock this year. So anything from that one, Dave?
Yeah, and I think it's really important that we kind of share that knowledge as well, because it's not just in the different types of stores. Region to region is different as well. You'll find there are different customer habits, shopper habits, and actually things that are on trend or not that we can sort of work on as well. I think it's really important. We were mentioning just before we started here, and you talked about the mushrooms coming into the store and the mushroom gift packs that are coming in. Now, a lot of that, as we've talked about previously, has come from a certain farm show and a certain Mr. Clarkson. And actually, to get that initial customer into the store is all you need. That 1 foot into the store is all you need and a hook. And actually, those those mushroom gift sets are also reasonably valued, but they're something that people are looking for. There's something that people will see outside of that. And I would also say this isn't just about your store and about what you're doing. Also, it's looking up and down the high street to seeing how what other people are doing and what other people are terminology they're using as well. Some of the larger stores, although as I said, they're not necessarily our friends, and what they said is almost awful a lot of the time. The marketing teams are huge on that one. So actually, when they're talking about the certain wording, they've probably analysed the words that people are looking for and some of the kind of more mainstream words for some of our more technical supplements. And being able to talk in the terminology of a potential new customer will entice them into the store as well. So I think it's finding that right balance alongside what we know and love and how we take those steps back to understand from someone outside of the channel what it would be that would entice them in, or what they would look at and just scratch their head at because they wouldn't understand what it was as well.
Excellent. So we've got a selection of Christmas windows here. Where they're not labelled, they're Sheaf Street Health Store. Well, they'll say Sheaf Street Health Store on the outside, but any photos that are here that I will credit to the other stores that have given me the pictures. So we trawled a few pictures. So let's just flick through these real quick. So we put up the tree that's outside. We actually put up that ourselves, and we speak to other stores down our own street to put those trees up. The council puts up the little stars and 1 or 2 strings of lights down our street. There's been so many budget cuts. So we put up our own tree outside. We do have lights on it that go on at, when it's not too sunny. We put them up. Obviously, we did some baubles here, but that was a tricky, well, they were at night time, you see, it's rather sweet. We own the flat above, so we put some lights up in the flat above as well. This is Bear Health in Congleton. That was an award-winning window that they had. And I'd like to mention triangles. I don't know if everybody knows about the story about or the detail about having pyramids and triangles in a shop window. Apparently, it's a real rule that's worth sticking to if you're looking, rather than square blocks of things. Having some sort of triangles and pyramids lets the eye move around the window nicely. So obviously the trees give that, the little village they've created has given that. That's a different, they've won again, actually. This is a different window, same shop. And again, they've put some chalk painting on the window. Now, chalk painting on the window in our shop is a nightmare because in the summer it's fine, but in the winter we get a bit of condensation and it's just awful. So, but they seem to have been okay with the amount of difference in temperature for them. But watch that, be careful with the painting on the windows during the winter season. But again, they've got the pyramids in there and, it looks very pretty.
I think one of the things to note with that shop window as well is there's not a lot of product in there. And actually what they're doing is they're enticing the store to let people know that there's Christmas within it. So it's actually more of a question of come in. So there isn't anything to deter people and there isn't anything to potentially have normal product in there. They've created something that says, come in, we've got Christmas stock, which I think is a really clever way of doing it as well.
This is a random health and beauty window that I just thought was, very simple, quite easy to do and very low cost. Again, very simple concept, just picking a colour. It depends on your kind of store. This wouldn't work for my shop, but, for some shops, this would really work. Just a single colour, hanging in some boxes that you've wrapped in ribbon, a very cost-effective way of creating a very pretty window.
I think that's the other element as well. People can be put off by how much money or effort they have to spend on a shop window, and actually doesn't necessarily have to be that expensive at all. Might be a little bit of resource in there as well, but actually it doesn't have to cost the earth to be really pretty and effective.
Again, just a very simple, it's just a set of shelves on a racking. So, but this one's loaded with product. I'm not sure what the word psyche means. I'm guessing it's the name of the shop. And again, I think that's probably somewhere like Harvey Nichols or somewhere. A very beautiful, simple window. And again, these kind of things can be made if you've got students on your team, that could be making something like that. Obviously, you'd put your own products and things in, but giant crackers, again, says Christmas very quickly without being, all tinsel and, plasticky things. This is Amaranth Wellbeing. Would you like to talk about this one, Jo?
Yes. It's not a very good picture. I always find it really difficult to take a picture of a Christmas window. And actually, I did have a tantrum on that one. It looked better a few years before, but we had a few years where we got these boards printed. So there was that one, and then there was another one that, oh gosh, it was something like All Stars, and well, anyway, it was something that was like a kind of quote that was a little bit well-being. And then actually what you've got that you can't see very well is we've got like the 2 light up trees, and then we do put some product in. And then, yeah, that one did definitely have a tantrum just before it went in, because I had very big ideas and all the lights fell down and I got quite upset. So
I think in a lot of ways it's good
Yeah.
to be able to see into the shop. You know, I'm always loath to put too much in a window and not be able people to be able to see in, because we've got to remember 95% of people do not shop in independent health food stores. Only 5% of the population do. So 95% of people want to be able to see what's in there. If they maybe feel slightly intimidated or, you know, uninterested, at least they've got a chance to have a proper decision about whether to go in or not, if they can see
yeah,
it.
I think one of the I always have other people's shop window envy. Like when I look at the Bear Health one and the ladies there who always do it so well, we do struggle with not having a sort of creative spark person. So I think that's definitely gone on my list, that this year I just need to get someone in who do it for me, would be the answer. Because it's even just practical things like where to hang things from. We've got that horrible false ceiling and you can't do a lot with it. So anyway, that's gone on my to-do list. The ideas are there with us, but the execution needs some work.
I think going on from that point as well about seeing into the store, especially in the night time when you'll easily be able to see into the store, it's also thinking about what that first impression looks like when people look in. Are they seeing the back of some shelves because you've got something in the shop window from that way, and can you utilize that a little bit more? Or can they see gift sets or something that would entice them into the store at the same time? So really think about what they can see visually. Try and walk up and down the shop yourself, because you might not think about the customer journey. So if you walk up and down the high street yourself and look at the store from angles, what is it you see? What is it that catches your eye, or what doesn't catch your eye as well?
Yeah, we're really fortunate. We've got glass windows all down one side, which is fabulous because you can see right in the shop. But my poor team have to go outside pretty much every day and look at the shop from outside, because otherwise it's like bottles the wrong way round or big gaps. It's literally like a greenhouse. You can see anything in there. So nothing can be hidden.
Smashing. This is some materials that we're producing at Viridian that will be ready any day now. So any bits of those that can be used, you know, will be available. But lots of other suppliers have Christmas materials. I think Clipper, Yogi, I think are doing some nice things this year. So it's worth asking. Booja Booja, asking some questions.
I think also some of the smaller brands that you've got in there as well, and some of those sort of slightly smaller brands will do some bespoke stuff with you as well. So it's definitely worth picking up the phone or dropping them an email, because although they might not be as proactive or have the budget to do stuff in advance, if you do engage with them, 9 times out of 10 they'll work something with you.
Okay. I was going to ask for a show of hands. I'm just curious how many people well, anyway, I don't know how many stores do vouchers and how many do hampers, but they've worked really well for us. We do very well with vouchers and hampers, especially in the last 2 or 3 days before Christmas, and even more so on Christmas Eve, with men rushing in, desperate for an idea for their partner, and they'll take a voucher with a hamper and throw some wine in, and that's it, happy days. They know their partner likes our shop, and so they feel like they're winning. So next slide please, Dave.
Well, I'm going to just add to that as well, Sharon. I think that actually, when you know that, and we do know that that is predominantly men that shop the last 2 or 3 days in that blind panic, actually advertising that in a window on an A-board or something that says we have vouchers and beauty products, etc. as well, that can mean that no-brainer voucher purchase is there, then that's also brilliant. But also secondarily to that, think about the person that's receiving that voucher is coming back in January, so you're getting a return purchase, and that's really important to think about. Actually, even if you're spending over a certain amount in the store and you get a £5 voucher, someone has to then come back to the store for a second purchase, and that is actually going to be more valuable than that initial shop in the first place, if you can start to create a habit of people coming into the store.
Yeah. We've found with our vouchers, both in the bookshop and in the health food store, that people rarely spend just the voucher amount. 99% spend more than what the voucher is. So, you know, it definitely is worth that. That's our one this year, but we've actually come up with a very nice little small credit card type. I've not got it here yet, but a small credit card type one. It's still cardboard, goes into a nice little pouch, and it's a prettier one, but this is the one we've used in previous years. We've done hampers, we've done them in our jute bags, and we've done them in the boxes. This year we're doing them in paper bags, but sturdy. I lie, it's a canvas bag. We've got a canvas bag this year. We did have the one on the left is just some spotty ribbon that we bought from a florist. On the right, we actually had our own ribbon made, which made a big difference. You can just do it in a brown box, anything, but once you've got the ribbon on it, it really jollies it up. And we found that's been very helpful, works well. And we've done we've done ones where you pick a mix, you kind of choose your own things to go in, and then we also do some standard ones that are a body care one and a food one.
And I think it's a really clever way of doing this as well, because it's additional marketing, because everyone will end up using that bag, and it's just more, especially locally wise, there's just more advertising for you and your business at the same time as well.
Yeah. This is Elixir. Debbie, I think, is on the call. Debbie, would you mind just talking a little bit about your how do you create the perfect gift box?
So what we do, we have just plain boxes out the back that we price. We've got 3 different sizes. So we'll price a gift box for like 50p, 75p a pound. So they can choose one of them or a basket. They then walk around the store and choosing what they want to put in the box. And then they just bring it to the till. And depending on what they spend, we might actually give them the gift box for free, or we might knock a little bit off. So they're getting all of those products for a little bit off, and we can tailor make them for people. So if we've got the husband that comes in and he says, oh, my wife Jo, she normally shops in here, because we've got a loyalty scheme, we can see the kind of things that Jo would normally buy, and we can make up a little gift box tailored for Jo.
Nice.
Yeah, these work like, well, they worked really well last year, where yeah, they can
Do you
choose
use tissue paper?
And we use tissue paper. We
Yeah.
reuse a lot of the stuff that suppliers send in with us. So some of them, when we're getting samples sent, we get lots of really nice coloured tissue paper. So all year we're kind of putting them to one side. But we also get a lot of packaging paper. And so we can use those and kind of rustic it up a little bit.
Nice. Do you want to talk about the Christmas cake, Debbie?
So the Christmas cake is a brand new thing. We've done it for a couple of years, but not as much as we've done this year, in that we have gone around the shop and saw what people would use to make a Christmas cake with. We've then taken a picture of them in a basket and put them through the till to show people how much it would cost people to do Christmas cake from us, so they're getting a kind of idea on what the price point would be. It's not going to be as expensive as they think it was, and that we sell those ingredients. So, and we're using social media to kind of advertise this already, and we're kind of doing it a bit tongue-in-cheek, saying, you know, is it too early to mention the C word?
Yeah.
If you are doing Christmas cakes, then, you know, we're the people for you.
Do you have a recipe?
So now that's a good thing. We didn't have a recipe, but we've been asked for a recipe. So we're kind of polling out to people now. We've asked our team to come back with a new one. So we're about, I think, probably in the first 2 weeks in October, we're going to go back, do it all again, but this time with a recipe.
Gosh, you could ask customers to come up with a recipe.
Yeah. And also to ask them to take pictures of their cooked cake and send us the pictures, so we can then use those pictures on Facebook and
nice
Instagram and stuff.
Nice. You're gonna have to get some sixpences from somewhere.
Yes, I don't know where I'm going to get them from.
God knows. Next, thank you, Debbie. Okay, and this is my piece about people buy from people, and you know, I think to get your staff really revved up about Christmas, they're going to be so busy. I mean, my staff we have this policy, no holidays after November the 1st, so you know they're going to be flat out for 6 weeks, and so it's important to keep staff happy. So I thought I'd show some happy staff pictures that we can whisk with quite quickly. Clearly Debbie feels the same. It's important to you know, everybody in the right spirit. Next picture. This is Healthy Life and Devices. This is is Justina in the meeting? Justina, can you? Oh, hello, Justina. Would you like to say something about this picture? Because I love the message.
Yeah, we put sort of quite nice messages in our window most of the time, positive ones. There's not a lot to say. She's just left after starting at 14 to go to university, bless her.
Oh, good for her. She's 40.
No, she's 14 when she started.
Oh, 14. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't look 40. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Anyway.
you know, sometimes the right place is a person. I think that's true. And I think shopping in an independent health food store is a much nicer experience than trying to go to Milton Keynes or, I don't know, Meadow Hall or, you know, some of these massive shopping centres. So I really like that message. Next one, I think probably is a Sheaf Street picture, I'm guessing. Oh, no, perhaps I left them out. But yeah, it's, you know, getting the team, getting yourself all jumpered up and your hats on and, you know, reindeer ears and, you know, all the rest of it, making it a lovely shopping experience that's very personalised and, you know, family orientated and friendly. To Advent or not to Advent, because, you know, some years we've had a lot of Advent calendars left over and I've ended up giving them to staff and so on. But we still do it. Every year we do the Advent calendars. And I thought I'd just show a few here. Any thoughts, Dave, Joe, on whether we should Advent or Advent's worth it or not?
Sorry, Joe, go on.
I was going to say, I mean, purely from my experience, the tea ones tend to work quite well. It was always Pocket and then it was Yogi. We didn't do so well with the chocolate ones. That oat milk one, I've still got 2 of those in my cupboard at home. Because in the end, I just kept taking them out and then eating the chocolates.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we tried to put them in early. I mean, we're not a massive food store, so maybe that makes a bit of a difference, but I thought maybe people would still pick them up. I think the difference with the tea ones is that people will, particularly the way Pocket used to do it, and I think Yogi did as well, people will still give them as a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Whereas with the actual countdown ones, it's missing the gift purchase. And I think people might buy an advent calendar for smaller children, but I don't know, maybe it's a bit too grown up to be.
I disagree it's too grown up. I just think sometimes it's too samey. So actually, when you look at the chocolate, we can get chocolate and most people can get a chocolate advent calendar from anywhere. If you look at the high street, the average spend on an advent calendar now is £39. You can get some unbelievable advent calendars that have got jewelry in them.
Wow.
Swarovski do a jewelry one that's like £190, and actually advent calendars are being seen as a gift, a Christmas gift on their own. So for someone that likes tea and having something that's a point of difference, absolutely, I think it's brilliant. I think if you're just going to look at chocolate ones, you're going to be potentially left with a few to eat at the end, because it's not a big enough point of difference for someone to purchase than something like a tea is, or somebody that likes something a little bit different as well.
Yeah, it's the M&S Beauty ones, isn't it? I can't remember exactly what they do with that, but they have a big campaign with that, and as soon as they're available. I think, I don't know, I would still question like kind of who buys that, because I wouldn't buy that for myself. It's the kind of thing that, yes, my mum might like, but am I going to buy her something at the beginning of December because I'm going to buy her a Christmas present? I'm not, I mean, people are buying them. I'm pretty sure the, you know, the M&S Beauty one, and then people have all the little things that they can try, which is great. Maybe next year we need the Health Store UK advent calendar, and
Maybe we
have
do.
little things from all our suppliers, and then they get to try lots of things.
That sounds like fun. That's
actually not
a
too
challenge.
difficult. It's not too difficult to do either, actually, and I think it adds. We can really pick and choose on that one at the same time. I've got a friend of mine who's a buyer for John Lewis, and they would say, and talking to her beforehand, just to get a bit of data from them from last year, they see women buying advent calendars for themselves in sort of mid-November time as the peak time and the peak custom avatar. And then they just kind of tell their partner, this is what you've bought me. early present. So thinking about who is buying it is also really important as well. But actually, that's not the worst idea about having a Health Store UK one.
No, it's
Yeah,
not
I
the
think
worst idea at all. Genius.
I've just written that down. So yes,
Yeah.
we'll have a look at that.
But we
Okay.
have sold lots of them. We have both the food. We do a lot of food in my shop. We do, and there's a lot of you know, we have a bit of a cafe at the back, so there's a lot of people just milling through. So we have sold quite a lot, and we do quite a lot on social media for them. These are social media posts that we've kind of push on the calendars. So we ended up with a few one year, a lot of the chocolate ones one year. So I agree. Peanut butter cups one was successful. The candy kittens one was successful. But yeah, some of those chocolatey ones at the bottom there didn't go quite so well.
I think there's also that, I guess, the question with some of those chocolate ones as well, when they're bigger brands, they are in the supermarkets now as well.
Yeah,
and
so probably cheaper.
And
yeah,
people will kind of just pop them in when they're doing the rest of the shopping. So maybe we're missing out on that a bit.
it's true. Yeah, to calendar or not to calendar, again, diaries, you know, they're time dated, you know, you can't send them back. They're, you know, once they're out of date, they're out of date. But we do a handful every year, and they so we sell them, but I wouldn't go mad on them. You agree on that?
Yeah, very much so. I think that it's about having an offering of them, but it's almost like when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, exactly. Festive in-store displays. So just some quick examples here. I think abundance is what we're looking for here. We're looking for the ghost of Christmas present, where it's absolutely abundant in a shop. Probably the first picture is really bare, but I don't think so. There we go. Oh, that's our star of the show. We got the reindeer, comes out every year. As our star of our display. We got that home sense. I think we bought that. We just saw it about 6 years ago, and that comes out every year. And people ask about it and pet it, and the children love it. It's, you know, you can sit on the back of it basically. But yeah, all the mince pies, all the panettones, you know, Christmas puddings. We put them on a big cart, and you know, really make a big display. This is Cornerways. Do we have anybody from Cornerways? I don't know if she's here. Another thing, but again, you can see the abundance that she's got in there. That just feels, you know, it's not two of this and two of that. It's got a big feel of everything fresh, and you know, the abundance of Christmas. Okay, so I think we should go through these at quite a pace now. We're halfway through already. So yeah, Booja Booja. The only thing I was going to say, do you realise Booja Booja has a shop listing that you can get listed on that goes for your town? And I think that's free. We're on there. Waitrose is just above us, which is annoying. There's Waitrose in Daventry, but you know, we're next to Waitrose. I think it's worth trying to get on that listing if you stock Booja Booja, of course. You know, various crackers, and these are stocking fillers, and you know, the Christmas things. We went to I think it might have been Spring Fair, where we saw Cup Smiths, and they're just so cute. They're so appealing. And the English Tea Company is, oh, there we go, the English Tea Company. They're all organic. All the ones that we stock are organic. And but they were lovely. They were advent calendars, but they did go. They did well, those ones, and they were good pricing for those. Celebratory drinks. If you don't do Norfolk Punch, you're missing out on something. Everybody does Norfolk Punch. But we've also had the some local things as well. That's from the Crafty Pig Cider House, the Christmas cheer. And we do tastings, you know, obviously lots of tastings. We have a license, so we do a special deal across the alcohol in the run up to Christmas, especially the wines and the Prosecco. Beauty. Jo, you might want to speak to these next few slides.
Yeah, so I mean, we bought in a few premium brands last year. Olverum is one of those. It's never going to fly off the shelf quickly, but it has got quite a niche following, and it's not in lots of places. And one of the things for us is that we have over the last few years concentrated quite a lot more on our online as well. And that's a good one for because it's not on lots and lots of sites, it will bring traffic to the site, and that means that people can say either, oh, I can get it locally, or so it's been a good one in terms of a bit of footfall generation, I guess, and a bit of interest. It sold okay, but it was never going to fly out, because I think that body cleanser is probably about £35. So people need to know what they're looking for, but it's got an amazing bath oil with it as well, which is incredible. And then we have this sort of more stocking fillery type table. So these are all under sort of £10 gifts pretty much. The things at the back there, they're incense sticks, and they're just sort of really brightly coloured, and they come in at about £6. So we sold loads of those. And then we've got the little kind of bauble things that are Evolve Beauty. They're about £10 each, these little, I'm trying to point at my screen as I'm doing it and it's not helping anybody. But those are they've got like a little mini size moisturizer in them, so they're all about £10. And then we do a selection of lip balms, and quite a few of those lip balm things we just get through CLF. And sometimes there's a couple of places that I look at, so I might go on CLF and see what we can just bring in, because obviously then that's brilliant for just your replenishment. Obviously when things are gone, they're gone, but there's some core stuff that you can just keep bringing through as you need it. And over recent years, I've used Fair a bit more. I don't know if anyone uses Fair. And that's been good for picking up a few little bits as well, a little bit of a longer lead time. But as long as you look at the ingredients and understand the products, it's quite a nice way of bringing a few new things in. And
it's not fair trade, you know, even though it's called Fair.
Yeah.
One of my staff got a bit confused last Christmas, and we got a few bits in that were not great, and so we had to sort of take a hit on those, but she misunderstood. She thought it was fair trade, but it's not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of, it's quite a fun evening, because this is how I enjoy spending my time, but it's like a big catalogue shopping, isn't it? But obviously we're only looking for those brands that sit with our values, but it has been a way. What I found is that there was brands before perhaps that we couldn't order from because we'd have to, I mean, we're still doing direct orders, but it just gives us a bit more of a way of looking at different things that are out there. And there's just been a few things that we have then picked up. Fru, which is a brand on the table there, Fru, there's some lip balms, and we picked those up at Note year before last, and they've been great as little stocking fillers. And then we have Weleda sets, we have Faith in Nature sets there, so that table there is a bit more stocking filler type gifts. Even little crystals actually do quite well for us. So any of those little, anything you've got that's got like a little positive affirmation on that someone can pick up, and it's like £5. And then we have bigger beauty sets with the brands that we obviously work with all the time. So Dr. Hauschka do some good value sets. We have Anika Organic, which they do makeup sets, but our makeup sets are absolutely hopeless, so I don't bother bringing those in, because you either, it's just color related and it's such a personal choice. And then we do Neom Organics as well, which is like quite a lot more expensive, but it's quite a well-known brand.
What I would just caveat with on that Fair piece is actually a lot of those smaller brands are actually going to Fair as a first port of call, because it's easier for them to get into there than it is to some of the bigger retailers and wholesalers. And actually, because they offer payment terms as well for you, actually it's quite a win-win for everybody. So you will find quite a lot of those smaller brands are using the likes of Fair as a first starter for 10. Yes, it can be a bit of a minefield, but if you're like Joe and like a good evening of looking through Fair, then that's the way forward. We'll maybe do that as another one.
No, definitely. Yeah, Tisserand, you know, is a well-known brand, and they did well with us that year. Again, it's a nice little stocking filler. Joe, I think this is yours.
Yeah, so that's our Dr. Hauschka gift set. So we tend to do a couple of they only have, Dr. Hauschka are quite easy to work with in that they've probably only got about 4 or 5 sets. We always try and get the ones that are around the £25-30 mark. Every year some of the brands do like the big sets at £60, but they just don't really work, because I think you're then really looking at that main present that somebody's really asked for. And actually with the £25-30 ones, people know it's a brand they recognize, they kind of can't go wrong with it, and it's in the right price point, really. So and also a lot of people, actually, if I'm going to be honest, with the Dr. Hauschka sets, are customers who buy Dr. Hauschka products, but they're getting an extra added value product, so they'll often come in knowing they're getting it, and that's good, because it means they're coming to us for it. And it's tying, you know, it's tying them into the brand. So we've already had people ask. In fact, I've got them all here, and I've just not opened the box yet, but they are all here and people are already asking for them. So
nice. Yeah, we do a lot with Hauschka. So gifts, this is not the traditional area for a health food shop, but we sell a lot of gifts all year round. These warmies that you put in the microwave and the wheat filled with wheat. These are the hot water bottles on the right. For a while, these made ages me, doesn't it? Meter long hot water bottles with the hot selling of the winter, but they, we think this year they're past it, so we're doing other things. But some of the warmies designs now are very, very smart and clever and cute. So we're doing quite a lot of warmies again this year. These are old season. We sold quite a lot of arcs. They were like over £100, some of the big arcs, and we sold a couple of those, but the ones that were around the 40, 50 mark sold better, the littler versions. These are just £2 little stocking fillers. On the right, the crystals and the tumblestone type things. We sell tons of them all year round. I think it's something like our third or fourth biggest category, and we just bring in more of that all the time.
Cheryl, can I just ask, with some of these brands, so let's take the warmies, for example, you go to direct to suppliers?
We do direct. Yeah.
And how do you find that with regards to minimum orders? Because that's something where, maybe it's a thing when we go to Nope or we go to the show and you find something you absolutely love. It's okay for the first order, that's fine. But then you're kind of like, oh, actually, this one sold well and that one not as much. And getting to those top-up orders, I can sometimes find a bit difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're in an enviable position that we, our cash flow is really good at our shop. So, because I'm, I have other businesses, so we do put them in the warehouse and leave them there for 6 months and then bring them back out again the following year, so that there's nothing lost. But we also do a big block of them. We don't just put a few in. We buy big, and we're constantly topping it up. So we've even brought in a load for Halloween, and they're going. We've got the bats and the pumpkins and the funny little monster things, and they've been selling. So yeah, we do quite a lot with warmies.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a different approach because I'm always I don't know, I have that kind of stock turn view of retail, that it doesn't come into my shop unless it's turning over within 6 weeks. And I don't know, that's just the way I've always.
I mean, these things are turning, but it's the sort of what you do when you get to March, April, and it's kind of, you don't need to have them there anymore. We've got a big warehouse, so I can put a load of stuff in and bring it back out, like the Passion Mama stuff as well. When we get to the clothing, all the scarves and hats and things, we bring them back out again.
Yeah. And I'll just mention, because there are a couple of things in the comments actually that Jill just mentioned, that disappointed this year. Dr. Hauschka gift box are specifically Christmassy. Last year we ordered lots as they could sell through in plainer packaging, but not this time round. So they're going to make their own Dr. Hauschka hampers, which is fair enough. And I may have one here, and I'm going to have a look at how Christmassy the packaging is. If you bear with me.
I'm guessing whether you can open up the boxes and sell what's inside, whether it's got the packaging that, is it just the actual products packaged, and that you could open them up and jettison the Christmassy stuff.
I mean, one thing I've done in the past, which is probably a bit naughty, so hopefully no one from Dr. Hauschka's on here, is that because they're not that much more expensive, and sometimes no more expensive, you've got a main product like a day cream, and then you might have like a free toner and a moisture cleanser or something. I might open them up because they are the full retail products, and then do like a gift with purchase with the others, which is
as long as it's got the actual packaging inside the packaging, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, which is maybe not strictly true. But yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the Dr. Hauschka this year. So I thought I could get away with that all year round. Well, not all year round, sorry, but like for the winter months.
Okay, super. So yeah, we had I can't remember where this came from, this perfume, but we were selling that.
Yeah, it's nice that.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Yeah, it did. It went well. I don't think we had any left by the end of Christmas. So yeah, I think that went well. Then we do these kind of gifts. The mats didn't do so well on the left. The painted drawing ones, they went really well at first, and then we had quite a bit left. And the globes and the wooden toys, we do have them on sale all year round, so they sell steady. They're not, some of them went really well at first, in the first wave, And but they sort of go steady. They're a good company, the Wooden Toy Company. I think they're called, I forgot, Robo Time, it looks like it's called. But they said they could send you some free items in boxes that you can make up and then put them in the window or light them up, and some of them move. I mean, they're really adult toys. It's like the guys come in and buy them for their children, but you know that they're doing them themselves. But they do move around. We stock clothing at our shop, so I think we'll whiz through this quickly. Although everybody sells socks, right? Socks go incredibly well at Christmas. We do the Pachamama fair trade clothing, and that's just it really does fly off the shelves. The headbands, the hats, the gloves, are very popular. Thought, I think now that was last year's or the year before, we used to sell a lot of Thought socks, but I think they've changed hands, and it's where you're getting your socks from now, really. Anybody want to add in about socks? What brand of socks they're using now? They're selling
Now called Woolovers. Thought was bought out by a company called Woolovers.
Nice. I think we're doing one called Bear or Bear Kind or something like that. They've all got different animals on for a charity. They're going well. So stock cards and gift wrap, which I think we often don't think about our shops for cards and gift wrap, but we sell cards and gift wrap all year round, as well as obviously bring it out in the season. These are the plantable cards, and these are the seed cards that we found have been the most successful for us. They have some of the funniest logos on them, wording on them. So they're very popular. Christmas communication. I think we're getting close to the end now. Please know. Again, letting people know when you're going to be open. Very, very basic stuff. And it's amazing how many shops, independent shops, not necessarily healthy stores, but shops generally, don't have their opening times outside, not only over Christmas, but any time. So just making sure you're clear with your customers through social media and on your door that when you're going to be open, so they know you're going to be there that Sunday before Christmas or whatever, so they can get their last minute pieces.
Just to add to that, it's also remembering to update things like your Google profile as well, because that's where people will search.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, definitely. Late night Christmas shopping hasn't worked for us. We've tried to get together with other shops in the street. We've done it twice now in previous years. We might do it this year because the bookshop next door, which will be open on Sundays, and do some late night shopping. But unless you've got the sort of momentum of other shops around you, I think it's very difficult to do late night shopping. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we've tried it, and we've done it over the last probably 2-3 years, and it's never been good at all. And we've even we've got a village, a precinct square. We've done things in there. There's been maybe a food stall, and literally it's been hardly anyone has come to it. And in the first year, it was minus 20. No, it wasn't minus 20. It was minus 5 or something.
Predict the weather, can you? That's the problem.
So last year we were kind of oh, it was just because it was so cold, and it still didn't. Still didn't take off. So we do a Sunday though, which will be the first Sunday of the month, and that's more. We're planning it at the moment, but again, we get food stalls out. We do have a Christmas market, so external stores can come, which is pros and cons as a retailer, as we know. It brings the footfall, but then there's a question: is that bringing the spend to the shop? I'm not quite sure, but it is now a tradition, and it's something we do. So it's still part of kind of the experience. Some shops love it, some shops hate it.
We have a Christmas fair in our town. It's in November, and it doubles our sales that day. It definitely works for us, but I agree with you, it doesn't for every shop. Debbie, this is your poster here. Any thoughts on late night shopping?
So for us, it works really well, but that's because the whole of our little town gets involved with it. We have a lot of help from our Chamber of Commerce that contact little choir groups and the schools. So there's different things going on, different parts of our town. It wouldn't work if we just said, right, today we're gonna open till 6 or 7. It has to be part of something big in the town.
Does it coordinate with the switching on of the Christmas lights or something like that? It does.
Yeah. They have fireworks as well in town.
Wow.
On when we do the lights. This year will be interesting because they have started a market. So we are doing a Christmas market, which is going to be in November, and there's going to be late night opening in November. So we'll see how that goes. The market's going to be running until about 8 o'clock at night. So if the market's there that's bringing people in, then hopefully the Christmas shopping
Makes sense to stay open.
yeah. And for us, again, it's all about theatre. Come in, you know, get warmed up, and we offer free. Normally it's the yogi Christmas tea that we have
Nice.
on for when they come in, or we do the tasters of, you know, vegan truffles or something like that. So it's all part of some kind of theatre.
Can I come? Sounds great.
Yeah.
Smashing. Next slide. This is just again a reminder, only 5% of people of the public, this is in England, we did a survey. So a real opportunity this Christmas to get more people coming into your store. So thank you and Merry Christmas. So should we open up the forum and see, you know, anybody else wants to take themselves off mute and show us their beautiful faces and ask any questions?
Can I also let you know that there are a few comments come in? So obviously do questions from anyone else first, but there was a little box hidden that I discovered afterwards that's got a couple of comments in. So
Do you want to share those first then?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I can do. So a question from Paul is, can I put a shop front on the website banner as I'm an online retailer?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots you can do with online, to be fair. I mean, especially if you've got a store or you haven't, but if you've got a store and you've got online, you can obviously do that. But it's, you know, primarily what we're talking about here is the stores and shop fronts and the stores themselves. So that could be a separate piece. But for now, I think it's around looking at what we're doing in stores, and that's the essence of what the talk is around. But yeah, in essence, of course, you can.
Yeah, I mean, we just change our homepage banner and it will become a more festive theme. My poor team often have to dress up and have photographs taken, and then they
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They pretend
Our
they
social-
don't, but it's just not true.
And what
Yeah,
about
we put
Christmas,
a lot of
Joe?
Christmas
What do they do for
in.
Christmas?
What do they?
We definitely change our socials. That, you know, we make sure Christmassy things all the time, get people in the mood and, you know, celebrate.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
noticed that Helen's taken her moot off. Helen, are you looking to Helen Swift? Are you looking to speak?
I wasn't actually going to say anything.
Oh, I just thought you'd take yourself
I
off
just thought
mute.
I would get prepared to maybe say something.
Oh, okay.
There we go. We can see you as
Where's
well,
your store, Helen?
In Penzance and Truro.
Of course, of course. And are you all ready for Christmas?
Well, kind of. We've been asked if we will open every single Sunday in December to try and get the town sort of up and, you know, going for it. So it's not been very popular with the staff, but we're trying to kind of work out a way to make it popular with the staff.
Is there a way of maybe just saying, okay, we will, but only 10 till 2 or, you know, 11 till 3 or something? You know, maybe it's rather than making it like we've got to open the normal opening hours, maybe just a short window to make it more tolerable.
Oh, we're definitely, yeah, I think we will. But we'll also, because we've got the cafe, we might just do maybe a roast dinner one week and maybe a sort of special with jacket potatoes or something another week,
Yeah.
and, you know, try to get people in that way as well.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Joe, any other questions from anyone else, did you say, or?
There was just one. I've had a read of them. There was just one more, which was related to the Viridian window that you had, the trees and things at the bottom. So it's just a question around whether that's kind of a window kit that can be ordered.
Yeah,
by
there is a
stores.
window kit, and you know, I ought to know exactly what's involved in that. And
Yeah, tell us, Cheryl.
I'm ashamed to say I do not, but I'm told it will be ready by what's the date? By the 15th of October. It will be ready in a kit form, ready to send out to anybody that requests it. But what the hell's in it? What the heck is in it? I have no idea. I do apologize. I don't know how much of that is expected to be drawn on and how much of it is physical pieces, but I believe it's something fabulous. So I've got high hopes.
Brilliant, because I think anything that can make our jobs
Easier
when it comes to things like that is always good. Excellent.
Right,
Yes, those are the
Jim.
comments I've got. If anybody does want to type them in rather than ask as well, I
Jim
can.
had his hand up. Was there something?
That was me. Hi, Cheryl. I was just Cheryl, you mentioned earlier on that the bookshop, I think you said, does something like 25%.
25% in the last 6 weeks.
So I'm just because I'm writing this up, just I mean, in terms of health stores, what sort of proportion of your annual sales,
Oh,
or is
that's
anyone,
really,
you know, would be accounted for by that same 6 weeks?
God, that's hard to, yeah, I'd have to,
I can
somebody's
while
good
you're
at
in it,
maths.
I can tell you from a brand perspective, from across the report of the brands is normally around 20%. It's that goal in that goal, what we call the golden quarter, I guess. But yeah, it's about 20% or increase on that, so it's double what the normally amount is. But you'll find that a large proportion is through there. But Joe, I'll get you the exact stat because I do have that, so that we're not misquoting.
Yeah, and I'll find that out for my shop as well, and make sure I get that to you, Jim. I can't work out, my maths isn't that sweet.
Yeah, I mean, for us for December, we're probably about an extra third added on to a kind of average month. But we do close for a good 4 days afterwards as well. So we kind of do really well in the lead up, and then we have a week where we really don't take very much at all. But usually it's about an extra third. What always surprises me in the week before Christmas is that, and it should stop surprising me because apparently it always does, so at some point I should remember, is that we expect that week before Christmas to be about gifts. It's like people panic buy on supplements as though they're never going to be able to go to a shop again. You'll get people coming in and they're like, oh, I'll get 2. Like, well, we're open again on Saturday. So if you sort of analyze it, some of it is the uptake in just people having this just general stocking up. And then the other thing that's great, and maybe we need to make more on this, is the amount of people who come in and buy a gift, and then there's something actually they want because they're spending so much money anyway. They're just like, oh, I'm just going to get that for myself. And I know my husband won't buy me what I want, so I'm just buying it anyway. So any way of kind of taking advantage of that is always good. I think people have
Definitely.
realised the
I think
budget's gone out the
there's
window.
also what happens in January, because when you that first week back, because you've been shut we actually shut for a whole week, we do. And you know, people go mental again in January. And of course, January's get healthy, get fit, get well. I'm giving up everything. I'm going vegan, I'm going organic. And you know, so we get a lot of that. So I think if you took into account, say, if you looked at maybe November, December, and January, what that equated to percentage-wise of the total business, I think it'd be quite a substantial amount, actually. Although I have to say, August for us was phenomenal. Normally August is flatter, you know, just you don't expect a surge, but we had a really decent August. So it's,
Yeah, we had a decent August. And then the thing with the January thing is, I always think that for us anyway, we always think it's going to do that like healthy new start, and somehow doesn't quite get off the ground as much as we think it will do. And I'm not sure why. September, we seem to get more of an uptake in people going, right, okay, between now and Christmas, I'm going to do this. I don't know, for some reason, January.
Mark here, by the way, I can't be bothered finding the button to turn my camera off. I'm sorry about that. But that's an interesting point, because I've been making loads of notes, so you won't get much from me back. But excess of Christmas, so bring it forward. You know, think of gut health, think of indigestion, think of overeating, think of and people will forearm themselves so they can go and be merry. Try and bring it forward is one thought that's sprung to mind with that bit of your conversation.
Definitely great idea.
Milk thistle.
The thing with that, Mark, as well, is that sometimes people don't want to be reminded of how gluttonous they're being over the Christmas period, so they tend just to bury their head in the sand and get back to it in January. And I think going back to kind of what you were saying about January being potentially flat, I think that when you think about what your messaging in your window in your shop is in that period, double it, like really double it, because people are looking to make that clean start and make a new mends, and it's helping people repeat habit. So there's definitely something in that. And if you've got something in your Christmas receipt or in your gift pack that also says come back in January, have a great Christmas, but come back in January because, and put a little message in, it's an additional message that has just enticed them back
new
in.
year, new habits, you know. The big one at the moment we're finding is giving up sugar. A lot of people are talking about giving up sugar again, and rather than just doing a detox, which was always January time, it's, you know, it's a specific thing. Giving up cigarettes, giving up whatever, but sugar, a lot of people are doing it at the moment.
Buying around people eating clean as well, and trying to get eating clean and more less processed products as well. So and the consumer generally is finding that very difficult to shop because they don't really, other than the traffic lights on the front, they don't really know what they're looking for. So they don't even, most consumers don't even know that the first thing on your ingredients list is what's in there the most, and then it works its way backwards. Most people have got no clue of that. So actually helping people to, when knowing what people are looking for and helping to signpost people to those things is really important as well.
That's really good. Yeah. Cool. So it's 7:01. I think we've really done well to keep it to time. If there's any last mop-up questions, otherwise we'll wind it up, hey?
Perfect.
Sounds good. Yeah. So in terms of the slides from today, they'll be available on, or the actual thing will be available as a watch on Health Stores UK, won't it? So because I think some of those window displays, you may find Congleton coming to Bramall for this Christmas. I'll message them first and let them know that I'm just going to copy their window display. But yeah, the information is available for people to watch back, and because I think sometimes we do cover quite a lot, and maybe little pointers. And I'm hopefully I'm speaking to for everybody on here, but I think if anybody has got ideas or you've seen products on there and you want to get in touch with one of the other stores and say, how do you get that? I'm guessing we're all pretty open to sharing where we buy things from.
Absolutely.
And all of those things.
And also, if there is another store that wants to, there's a minimum order of, I don't know, £1,000 for something, we could club together and each buy a bit of it and share, and, we could work out something from the warehouse to help ship things out, to make things easier. Two things I'd like to say is that the next at Health Store UK meeting is on the online meeting is on the 30th of October. It's a mastermind, so those ones aren't recorded. It's an open forum to just chat through any issues anybody's got going on, or any ideas that anybody wants to brainstorm, any challenges, anything anybody's going through. It's a very safe space to share, any discussion on anything. It's a very much open forum. I tend to come up with some sort of loose thing as a theme so that I can do something if it goes a bit quiet. But if anybody's got any questions or ideas or any thoughts they want to bring to that meeting, it's on the 30th of October. We always do something the last Wednesday of every month. You'll find us here ready to discuss anything to do with health food retailing. So yeah, that's that. And Merry Christmas.
I might just add something to that, Cheryl. Actually, I think we're trying to obviously. These are your forums for you to add value as well. So if you have found things valuable, if anyone would be willing to write a little testimonial that we could help and support us to talk to other retailers, we'll be at NHT at the weekend in Bristol. So come and see us at the stands there. But anything that can help us help spread the word and get more people involved and helping more stores and helping that channel that we love rise and grow, the more the better. So if you're willing and open and happy to do a testimonial or to put a post on or something to say that you were here as well. I saw Jim taking some photos of us and stuff. So that'd be really beneficial for all members as we try and work and support each other.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for your time this evening, and we will let everybody go home now and eat and get ready for Christmas. Hopefully, lots of ideas.
Super.
Thanks so
Thanks
much.
Joe. Cheers,
Thanks.
Dave. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye, Jim.